What's up, dudes? Chooch back with another video, and today we're doing a little range test on the Inmotion v11. And I'm gonna make this a fun range test, guys. So this is gonna be like a little adventure ride / range test through the mountains and all. And where I live at, honestly, you can go two ways, really. You can go west and you can go into the mountains and basically go ride some awesome terrain, have great views. Or either I could go east and go towards the plains, and really have an effective range test, on some flat roads that would give me a good reading of really what this thing performs like on flat terrain. But I really didn't want to do that right now. So what I did is I just took it up to the mountain roads, guys, and rode this thing at a casual speed. I wasn't really going full speed everywhere like I normally ride in my trail rides and stuff like that. But I was just cruising, I wasn't really trying to go slow to get more range out of this thing. And what I did is I went on a ride basically from Boulder, Colorado up to a place called Gold Hill. This place is really, really cool though. Not a lot of people really go up here, so in Colorado, people that don't live here, you kind of think of the big resorts. You kind of think of, the Breckenridge, Vail, stuff like that whenever you think of Colorado, and then like Denver, maybe Colorado Springs. But the real beauty of Colorado is the small little mountain towns like this. This basically brings you back to the 1800s, and I'm not kidding you. So like this little mountain town right here was it was completely burned down in 1860. I'll show you in a minute, or at the end of the video we'll actually go past where a Freemason Lodge was here, and I'll give you all kind of the history lesson on that too, if y'all are interested in that towards the end. So the cool thing about this place, it was actually the first permanent mining camp in Colorado, and this was in 1859 when this place was founded, and it's 8,300 feet above sea level. This place is actually on the National Register of Historic Places, and it has 200 residents now, and it's basically the best intact example of the state's early mining community, and it really is a gem.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out today. Yeah, I'm kind of risking it, but I think on this one they say about 60 miles, but that's not including the elevation gain,
Right. Does it regenerate downhill? Or
yeah,
nice.
yeah. So I think if I go easy downhill and not go full speed, I'll be able to regenerate some. Yeah, it's pretty surprising so far.
What's up, guys? Chooch, pretty much halfway into my range test on the Inmotion v11, and this thing is riding really, really good. It's handling these dirt roads incredible. I found this sweet little general store up here, so I made it to this little town called Gold Hill, and you kind of come over the mountain over there, and it's kind of deceiving. You wouldn't really think that there'd be a little town like this. All the houses are really spread out, but it's pretty neat. Ice cream over here. Yeah, Inmotion v11 sweet, man. This thing is rolling. We're up here pretty far whenever you see kids outside playing with sticks, man. That's genuine right there, man. That's genuine. I like it. Alright. Inmotion v11 range test. We're halfway through. Pop that kickstand up. Alright, so we're heading out. So I stopped at the little general store up there, and that place really stays in business from people kind of like me and like that guy I was talking to. People ride their bikes up. I asked them, they said they get a lot of adventure bikes, people going exploring around the state. They come into Gold Hill to check it out and whatnot. It really is pretty cool. This town actually has the oldest continuously operating public school in Colorado. It's been open since 1873. A few months from now, actually in about a month, you won't be able to get up to this road via electric unicycle. All these roads going up here that I'm going on right now are just get covered in snow. I mean, halfway up you could probably get there, but there's no way you could really get to Gold Hill if you didn't have four-wheel drive or snow chains. And they don't plow it that much because there's not a ton of people that live there. And so the people that do live there either have four-wheel drive or usually just kind of hunker down in the wintertime and just use, firewood for fuel.
Cruising, man. Keeping up with traffic on these mountain roads pretty much. I don't feel like I'm really pushing it too hard. It's just Cadillacing, man, up these roads.
this is the whole uphill sequence, kind of getting up here and whatnot. So I basically kind of edited this and chopped it up a little bit just to make it more interesting. So we're not just sitting here just zooming up a hill.
Yeah, it's one of the new electric Porsches right there. Sick. Climbing no problem. Inmotion v11. Range cruising, baby. Other bikers out and about. I guess maybe sunshine was the way to go. Look at that. All right, look at that climb we've already done, man. We've quick climb up here.
V11 though, for stuff like this where you're just chilling, you know, cruising long range and you just want comfort, man, this thing cannot be beat. Like this is what this wheel is made for. You know, you don't have to worry about really snagging any rocks, anything with those shocks or anything like that. Just road riding on this thing is amazing, and you can just cruise forever, and the range is awesome.
So one thing I do notice on this wheel for sure is I kind of get lazy and I lock my knees out. So what I'll do is which I normally don't do on any other wheel. I'm always riding, you see me, I'm always riding in that position, just sitting in like a squat position almost. But with this wheel, I feel like my stance is getting poor because I'm just used to that suspension working so well. And I get wobbles when my legs are out. But if I just bend my legs a little bit, man, this thing really cruises so good. Just, I mean, you don't even have to bend them as much as you do on the M Super. Just bend them a little bit, and it cruises perfectly fine. So if you get this wheel and you're having wobbles, still bend your knees, even though it has suspension. You got to bend your knees a little bit. But I think it's great, man. This thing cruises like butter. I love the battery display is really cool too. How you can look at the battery display and just see. I've lost one bar coming up here so far just because the altitude gain, I think. Man, how beautiful is that? To ride up here on a unicycle up into the mountains like this. No car needed.
So I really like the Inmotion v11 suspension off-road, but on-road riding like this, it really can't be beat. This is where it outshines the S18.
If you see, like when I get lazy like that, checking for my phone, I stiff leg it and I get a little wobbly just because I'm getting lazy. So my normal riding position though is just the having knees bent a little bit. And look how beautiful this is up here. That quick of a little ride, just zoop. It feels so much faster. It feels so much faster when you're on a electric unicycle than when you're riding in a car. I don't know why. I guess it's just way more fun. You know? Look, that's the little bit of snow up there. The creek that everybody's tubing in. So you see, there's no snow anywhere except for that. Those like little masses right up there, and that's all funneling down. That's the last little bit of snow left, feeding all the tubing going on right now and all the whitewater rafting. It's pretty much, you can't really whitewater raft anymore, there's not much left, but you see kind of the dynamics of it. I really don't know where I'm going exactly because the other canyon was closed down, so we're gonna have to make do. Man, I've never been up here. I've never really had a reason to go this way.
So I call this wheel the 85% wheel, and I think this is the perfect electric unicycle for 85% of the riders out there. I think this is the perfect first wheel. I think this is the perfect second wheel, and I think that anybody is really going to adapt to this thing and kind of appreciate the comfort of it. On the other unicycles, we've been riding them, you know, since 2015. We know what it's like not to have suspension. You know, we kind of have adapted to that, and we can appreciate the suspension. But the thing is, if I would have gotten this wheel in say 2015, I would have had like a different kind of perspective on how far you could ride these things. So with the 9x1 E Plus in 2015, you're talking no suspension on the wheel. You're talking maximum maybe about I think it was like 20 miles on the charge, and that's that was a big deal. 20 miles was like, oh my God, that's crazy how far you can go. But the thing is with this one, I think if you get this as your first wheel, or I think I say like 85% of you that are interested in EUCs, if you get this as your wheel, I think you're going to be really impressed immediately. Just because in 2020 right now, this is kind of the cream of the crop of this new hobby. You have a ton of watt hours, and watt hours is what gets you the range that we just have right here. So 1600 watt hours is what will get you up to the mountains. It'll get you home. It'll let you adventure around, and it will importantly be a wheel that will not give you any range anxiety at all. So this wheel has everything. It has a good headlight. It has a good user interface, battery display. It has suspension. It has the range. It has the speed. It has the torque. It has pretty much everything there that you want. Of course, it's not perfect in every single category. There's no wheel that is perfect in every category. But this wheel does pretty damn good, I'd say, in every category. And
so check it out, dudes. All right, I've rode up way up here on the Inmotion. This is a really long ride up here, so I've gained a lot of altitude. This is a sweet spot. So site of Rocky Mountain Lodge number 3, and this is at Gold Hill up here, June 1861 to November 1862. This is a site where like basically like a Freemason Lodge was. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. I love history. I love it. So cool. One of the only subjects in school I can stand, and I really do enjoy it. I don't know why, but I do. Pretty neat, man. Pretty neat. Not a bad place to live. I don't know how they must have gotten snowed in big time up here in the winter. Whew. But not a bad place, dude, for like, man, that is cool. History, man. History. Pretty neat.
I'd say it's about 85% in every category. In every category you want to look at it. And suspension, yeah, it's about 85% perfect. Range, yeah, it's about 85% the best there can be. User interface, yeah, it's about 85% best can be. It just kind of lacks like Bluetooth speakers, stuff like that. It is that 85% wheel. It is going to be for 85% of the people, and 85% of everything on it is perfect. So there is room for improvement, that, which is great. I love that. So we have competition between companies. That's going to lead to more innovation, just better and better stuff. So the history about that Freemason Lodge up there, because you can see where they chiseled off the name of it. I as a history major, I completely understand. There's some messed up things in history. Absolutely, there's some distraught, awful things. But I think you should know about them. I don't think covering them up or anything like that is necessarily a good thing at all. And I think knowing about it will prevent it from happening in the future. And John Shivington, the name that was actually chiseled off of that thing, the reason it was is because, he was a pretty bad dude. This dude was a big player during the Civil War, and a lot of people don't think that, the Civil War made it all the way out to Colorado, but it did. And the Sand Creek Massacre was something he played a huge role in. He basically led a 700 man cavalry in the Sand Creek Massacre and scalped a bunch of Indians, did a bunch of messed up things, and later on they basically found out how bad he was and how condemned he was even among the Masons. Actually, the fellow that founded Colorado Springs, named Irving Halbert, was pretty much one of the only guys that defended his actions. By the time Shivington was really condemned for his actions, he had already resigned from the army. Pretty much the only thing that kept this guy out of jail was the Civil War amnesty, and that basically meant no charges could be filed against him. However, the judge did state that the Sand Creek Massacre was basically a cowardly and cold-blooded slaughter, and that's what it was, it really was. And that's why I say, I don't support it at all, but I don't think the history should be erased. I think it's important. People should know about it. It's really cool to know about, too, that's the cool thing about, history monuments, is you look at it and you're like, damn, I'm standing where this happened. And then you just kind of look around and the scenery and the mountains haven't changed much at all in that time. And it's just so cool to put yourself there. and like just like think for a second. All right, Chooch's history lesson aside, let's talk about the Inmotion v11. Some facts on this thing and some straight technical specs. So, riding all this range, riding all of this in the video, plus more that was off camera. I didn't have the cameras rolling the entire time that I was riding. I ended up riding about 48 miles. And when I got back home, guys, this is the crazy part. So, I usually don't like riding these things all the way to when they're dead, because usually on the last 20%, you know, it's speed throttled and whatnot, so I don't even bother with that. But I was going to. I fully planned on this thing, you know, on this ride with that much elevation gain, that steep into the mountains. I fully expected to be coming in on nothing, you know, absolutely nothing from that steep of a ride. But after 48 miles of riding up in the mountains, dirt roads, I mean, inclines, all this stuff, came back with 36% still left on it. And I didn't even want to ride anymore, guys. That just shows on these things. It is to the point now where you really don't have to worry about range. You can just go for a ride and just enjoy the thing and not worry about your battery life on it, you know? And Lord, I mean, if you get the Sherman, you could ride the thing for a week as much as you wanted to without ever even charging the thing. So these things have just reached the point now where it's just amazing, the range you get out of these things, and how small it is, and how compact it is, and how efficient it is. It's just, they're awesome. The Inmotion v11 is a sick wheel. I highly recommend it. One thing I do want to test on the regenerative braking of all these devices, electric unicycles, skateboards, all that type of stuff, is just, you know, really how much you are getting, and then what is the ideal circumstance for it. You know, is going fast downhill better to regenerate more? Is going slow downhill better to regenerate more? And just lean back and, you know, kind of let it kind of pull on that motor going down a little the hill instead of just going full speed. I really don't know what the finesse point of getting the optimal regenerative braking power back, but it definitely does work, and the range on this thing is absolutely insane, guys. So I mean, it just goes forever. So to wrap it up, prime example of the suspension working right there is that little construction site where I had to get off through there. Suspension did its job, works great. The Inmotion v11 is a home run of an electric unicycle. For anyone wanting to get into this hobby, I don't think you can go wrong with this wheel. The link below, guys, takes you straight to eWheels. It is an affiliate link. It helps the channel. You can pre-order the V11, the Veteran Sherman, the S18, and get all of the latest wheels there. M Super Pros, all that stuff. Link below, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one.